Namaskar and welcome to Issues Before Parliament. Now, the winter session of Parliament is commencing from the 1st of December. It lasts till the 19th of December. There'll be about 15 sittings. The government has about 10 bills to clear in this session, and they cover reforms from corporate sector to securities markets to education to atomic energy. But what we normally do before each session of Parliament is to get voices representing different political parties and political interests and bring them together to see what issues are likely to be raised during this session of Parliament that could resonate with the people. So, to take us through this discussion, we have with us Siddharth Yadav, spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, representing the Treasury, Dr. V. Sivadasan, Member of Parliament of the CPIM from the opposition, Tehseen Poonawala, who's a political analyst, and he leans towards the Congress, so we'll get that viewpoint from him, and Anmol Panwar, who's a spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. So let me start with you, Mr. Yadav. What are the expectations from the Treasury benches from this session of Parliament?
Hi, good evening. Good evening to all your viewers. As you have mentioned, the government is planning to bring along very important bills in this session. Like all sessions, this session would also hold bills which are of utmost importance to the people of the country. The focus is going to be the ease of doing business and ease of living for the people. Bills concerning corporate laws, for amendment in SEBI, for insurance laws amendment, for atomic energy, for constitution of higher education commission. Such important bills are going to be introduced in the parliament. Having said that, two bills which were earlier introduced in the parliament and were sent to the select committee, the insolvency and bankruptcy code amendment bill and the Jan Vishwas special amendment of the provisions bill of 2025, are also going to be the priority for the government to be passed. In all such bills, as I said, the priority is going to be making laws which may ease the living for the people of the country, which can boost the economy, which can support our economy, and which can bring in reforms which are much needed in today's time. In
Right.
all sessions, I would also take this opportunity to say that we're looking forward to this session from a positive note, and we wish that the opposition is going to collaborate in this session in a constructive and positive manner. And unlike other sessions that we have seen in the past, the opposition would not hold the parliament hostage for agendas which probably are not relevant to the people and neither important.
Okay, Dr. V. Sivadasan, Member of Parliament of the CPIM, what issues are the left party is likely to raise in this session of Parliament?
The coming session of Parliament, I think the very important issues will come. The left, not only the left parties, all opposition parties, together we will raise the issue of price rise. In India, the poor people are suffering because of the price rise. Day by day, the price of essential goods are increasing. The sky.
Dr. Sivadasan, we seem to be having some problem with your audio, so I will get back to you as soon as they correct it. But let me turn to Mr. Tehseen Poonawala and ask him the same question. What issues are we expecting from the Congress party in this session?
Good evening. Thank you so much for having me on the show. Good evening to my fellow panelists and to all viewers. As the Honorable Member of Parliament rightly said, one of the pressing issues is the price rise, the 7% food inflation, whereas inflation itself is pegged to at about 0 to 1%, as the recent data suggests, shows that there is a lot of stress on the poor in buying. The second aspect is, while we're all very proud that the Indian economy clocked fabulously in the last quarter, the fact of the matter is manufacturing as a percentage of GDP has fallen, and jobs, as the CIME data has shown, has reached an all-time high of 20% in urban India. And I think that is very, very important. Apart from this, the way that northern India, particularly Delhi, is choking, the cancer pandemic in Delhi as a result of the pandemic, of the pollution, needs to be discussed thoroughly, and the government needs to not escape from the discussion. The Honorable Prime Minister has so far not chaired a meeting of all chief ministers of northern states to deal with this very, very pressing problem that affects each one of us. Then there are the terror attacks, including the terror attack in Delhi. There is the SIR that needs to be talked about, and how the Election Commission is going about it. Apart from that, 2 or 3 of the very important bills, the Atomic Energy Bill 2025, where the government does want energy targets of 100 gigawatts by 2047. I think this prioritizes energy targets over with the privatization, over safety audits, over how the waste material will be disposed, the nuclear waste material. None of this has been elaborately put forward. The opposition would like a thorough discussion on this. I think it's extremely important. The Insurance Laws Amendment Bill, again, 100% FDI, allowing premiums are going to go up. How do people deal with it? What about the Indian insurance companies that are government owned? I think these are very important bills. The Higher Education Commission of India bill, again, there seems to be a central hand on education, which is a state subject. We will need to look at these aspects. So I'm hoping, and this is where I would like to end, that the government of India does not run away from a discussion. What we've seen so far is the government running away from a discussion in Parliament. Any issue we, the opposition, want to raise in Parliament, the government runs away from a discussion. It doesn't allow Parliament to function. It's the first time in independent history we're seeing a government disrupt Parliament and not allowing Parliament.
Okay. I mean, I've seen that we've seen also that the opposition has been, of course, disrupting Parliament. I'm told that we've lost our contact with Mr. Sivadas and Dr. Sivadas. And so let me turn to Anmol Panbar, who is spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. Mr. Panbar, what other issues would you like to add besides what Mr. Poonawalla has raised?
Good evening, Mark. Mark, every session of Parliament arrives with a sense of hope for the common people of this country. They believe that finally their issues will be addressed and their elected representative will raise their concern in the House. We, the Aam Aadmi Party, has strongly raised the issues of the common man on the streets and in the Parliament House as well. But the three pressing issues which we will raise this time is, first is the clean air, a healthy environment, right to life, which is one of the fundamental rights enshrined in Article 21 of the Constitution of our country. In Delhi, we are witnessing that it has become a gas chamber, and most of the northern part of the country, they are facing a similar situation. The AQI level, it has reached all limits of human endurance, and despite that, government is not taking any concrete measure. In fact, they are busy in manipulating and fudging AQI data. They are sprinkling water near pollution monitoring stations to give a sense, to give a false sense of belief to the people of this country. And the reality is that we are ranked 13 of the most polluted cities out of the 20 in the world are in India. So it's a North India problem. They have been ruling in center from the last 12 years. They have governments in 22 states. Despite that, they are not taking any action. The second most important issue is that of SIR. Under the garb of SIR, initially what they were doing was they were determining citizenship. It was after the intervention of the Honorable Supreme Court that this practice stopped. Whether it's Delhi, Haryana, Maharashtra, or Bihar, they are winning elections by doing vote chori. They are doing daylight robbery of elections because they know that the people will not vote for them on the basis of work. That is why they are becoming desperate. Voters' names are being arbitrarily deleted. They are stealing votes, and the sanctity of election, that is being compromised. And now more than 20 BLOs have died because they are because of this system which is being forced across the country.
You've explained also and to some extent a lot of the issues that you're going to be raising, Mr.
The final issue, 10 seconds. The final issue is that of national security. Despite having complete control of investigative and intelligence agency from the BSF to the Coastal Force, from NSA to the Home Ministry, the BJP government have repeatedly failed to protect the citizens of this country. A terrorist attack took place in the heart of the national capital at the Red Fort. Despite that,
fair enough.
They are, despite having clinching evidence, they are now scared of even taking name of Pakistan. The same pattern is repeating every time.
Let me turn now to Mr. Yadav once again of the Bharatiya Janata Party. So, Mr. Yadav, we can see that there are a lot of issues being raised. As the Aam Aadmi Party has talked largely of the issues. The Congress, of course, has also talked about the bills and willing to participate and wanting a discussion, especially on Atomic Energy Bill as well as the Educational Reforms Bill. But, you know, if we take, since both of them have raised the issue of clean air, and they say that 13 of the most polluted cities are in India, in the world. I mean, is the Treasury willing to have a proper discussion on this in Parliament? Sir, I think you're on mute, yeah.
Yeah, my apologies. I was wish to respond to my two learned friends who have joined from different political parties. I wish to thank Tehseen Poonawala ji for making me hear a very unique argument for the first time in independent India, that the treasury benches or the government is not letting the uh, parliament function. I think this argument is also very new and very unique because that's not how it works. We have seen, and I think the people of the country are not naive. People have seen what happens in the parliament. Every time the parliament has to, get into process, the opposition comes into the well. The opposition ensures that there's no discussion. The opposition ensures that there are no, constructive engagements on any bill that is brought. And the opposition ensures that even the 0 hour and the question hour are also not engaged with. So I think they need to relook upon their own strategy because the parliament is a forum for the opposition to raise issues
Right.
that they feel are important. That's number one. Number two, for issues that my learned friend from the Aam Aadmi Party was raising, I think a difference has to be drawn of what has to be discussed in public rallies and what has to be discussed in a parliament. A parliament is not for propaganda. Parliament is for facts. Facts have to be backed. For issues that you have gone to public and you have been rejected, you have gone to this honorable Supreme Court and you have been rejected. If you wish to hold the parliament hostage on such issues and say that we will not have any discussion on any other topic until you have a discussion on this, upon which the parliament probably is not even competent to adjudicate. I think those are issues which are used as tools for the opposition to waste the time of the parliament and waste the money of the taxpayers. Such issues should definitely be avoided, but all relevant issues and all important issues, be it the issues that the government is introducing or the issues that the opposition wishes to bring in the time
Right.
allotted to them, I think are going to be issues of importance, and the government is very willfully going to engage in that constructively.
Indeed. Uh, Also, we are joined by Dr. Sivadasan once again. Dr. Sivadasan, I hope we have a clear line with you. Yes, please go ahead. What issues are you going to raise?
Yes, here earlier I tried to raise the issue which the left is interested to raise in the parliament. In parliament, we not only the left opposition, entire opposition parties will raise the issues of price rise. The skyrocketing of the essential commodities is very big issue in front of the people. See, the gas, oil, and vegetables, everything is facing the price rise. The mahangai, the price rise, is the one of the important problems in our nation. The second one, the government is planning to privatize the entire electricity sector in our nation. Here, wherever the electricity is privatized, the people are compelled to pay more money for getting electricity. So we, who are supporting the issue of people, they together will fight against the government's plan on electricity bill. Then third one, regarding the SIR and vote choring. The SIR, this government, with the support of the election commission, they are trying to delete crores of names from the electoral roll.
Okay.
The democratic India is a democratic country. Here, together, we should protect the right of the
Right.
citizen to cast their votes. The government
Dr.
and the election
Sivadasan
commission.
and Mr. Poonawala and Mr. Panbar, I think, Mr. Yadav did refer to this. He said that the parliament is a place where you have to bring facts and discuss these issues. Now, of course, a lot of these SIR things that you're talking about are accusatory at the moment. And there is, you need to provide the relevant facts to be able to have a discussion on the floor of the House. Let me turn once again to Mr. Yadav. Let him, give the point of view of the Treasury as far as, the SIR is concerned and whether you're willing to discuss it on the floor of the House.
Now, Mark, I think in the last session itself, this issue was taken up. It's very clear that the issue of SIR is under the constitutional mandate, under the Article 324, which is available to the Election Commission, which is an independent constitutional body that does it. The Parliament, I would repeat, that has to be, it has to be thought that whether the Parliament is even capable of adjudicating upon the issue or not, or whether SIR is just a propaganda issue for the opposition which they wish to bring. They have gone to the public have rejected them. They have gone to the Supreme Court has rejected it. The issue is also pending before the Honorable Supreme Court, and hearings are happening, as we speak and every week. So on such an issue where such wide deliberation with right constitutional bodies is already happening, would it be right for the opposition to take the parliament hostage and say not discuss all relevant issues which are relevant to the public, with issues which are for the betterment of the public, and say that we will have not allow you any discussion, will not allow you a minute of any constructive work, just because we have accusations to make and we take the parliament's platform for that? I don't think the parliament is such a kind of platform, and that responsibility has to be understood by the opposition themselves.
Right, Mr. Poonawala, come in.
Look, the fact of the matter is that they may say that they have the election commission has the jurisdiction to conduct an SIR. I firmly believe that it is that while they may conduct the SIR, the rules that are being brought in to conduct the SIR and the documents that are being rejected are ultra vires of fundamental rights, constitutional rights, etc. And the honorable courts have had to step in to guide the election commission onto how to safeguard people's rights. For example, rejection of Aadhaar as an evidence, as a proof of identity, etc., etc. We are not going to get into that.
Yeah.
And therefore, it is the parliament as a forum where I will raise these issues of that something that is going wrong. So the fact that I cannot bring up something in parliament is the mindset of the government, that they say, oh no, you cannot bring up something in parliament. What evidence did the government, the opposition party, that when they brought in 2G, for example, 2G case was thrown out of court, but they got in, they wasted an entire winter session of parliament. And I remember the late Sushma Swaraj ji saying that it is the duty of the opposition to obstruct parliament. Here, opposition is not obstructing parliament. The government is obstructing parliament. Now, my learned friend Siddharth said, oh, but we are not allowed, what is happening in question hour. In the last winter session, only 10 minutes in Lok Sabha out of 14 days was allocated for question hours, 10 minutes. Why does the government run away from having discussions? Let me give you an example. Some 50,000 rupees was found under a bench of some member of parliament. For 50,000 rupees, you completely stalled the entire day of parliament and didn't allow parliament to function. What was the point of doing that? You wasted crores of rupees or some 50,000 rupees. What happened about that? You don't want to have a discussion. What is your plan beyond Bangladesh? Tell us today. What is your plan beyond Syria? You don't have a plan. You don't want to use parliament as a matter of discussion. Ultimately, one last thing. When we wanted to discuss Manipur, we had to bring in a no confidence motion. And even after that, the most honorable Prime Minister only started speaking about Manipur when the opposition walked out. Till then, the Prime Minister spoke about everything except Manipur. That is the state of the opposition today. They don't want to discuss important issues. They want to run away. Government is running away from discussion.
So
first time in the history of
that is what you mean when you say that the government is stalling parliament. But let's turn to Mr. Yadav once again. Let's turn to Mr. Yadav once again. He had raised his hand. Yeah, come in, sir. Yeah.
Mark, I don't know what to respond to an argument when my learned friend says that the Honorable Prime Minister started to speak when the opposition walked out. Why did you walk out? You stalled the parliament for 2 weeks to have a discussion on Manipur. The government agreed to a discussion on Manipur. You brought in a no-confidence motion. The Honorable Prime Minister responding, and when you stalled the parliament for the same reason for 2 weeks, when he is speaking about Manipur, you walked out. That shows the mentality. That shows that the opposition is not concerned about the issues at hand. They are not even concerned about the issues that they raise. And this is not the first time. We have seen what happened to Pegasus, what happened to Rafale. Every time the parliament has to commence, just before that, some issue will come from foreign soil and you will hold the parliament hostage. And now you are telling us, why did you have 10 minutes of question hour? Every time question hour is beginning, you go into the well and you make the parliament, you suspend the parliament. That's not how a democracy functions. And that's not the role of the opposition at hand.
So, Mr. Yadav, let's steer the discussion towards, some of the issues that have been raised as well. Price rise was raised by the left parties. But before I ask you to respond to that, let me turn to Mr. Panwar once again. You want to add to any of the issues? Now let's focus on the economic issues, because a lot of this session is also dealing with, with reforms in the that are economic reforms in the tradition that is continuing to try and build, better ease of doing business.
Mark, it's very shocking that for the BJP spokesperson, rising pollution, which is choking our lungs, and national security, these issues are irrelevant. And they were saying that SIR, under the garb of SIR, the opposition parties are just making excuses. We gave proof to the Election Commission of India. In Delhi, we very categorically stated on affidavit that in New Delhi Assembly constituency only 42,000 votes were deleted. In almost 14 constituencies across Delhi, thousands of voters were being deleted. No action has been taken till date. During Punjab mayoral polls, the Bharatiya Janata Party was got red-handed stealing
Okay,
votes
I
in the
can see
Punjab
that
mayoral polls.
this issue,
The
we've talked
Honorable
a little bit
Supreme
about
Court
it. We
stated them
understand
a
that it's
murderer
likely
of
to be raised in
democracy.
this session of
What more
Parliament.
evidence do you
I
require?
think Mr. Yadav has already
You are at the
responded. We can see
forefront.
what we can expect from
They are at
from
the
the Treasury
forefront of
from
vote
this
story.
on this issue of the SIR. But let's turn again to the economic issues. Mr. Yadav, the left has raised this issue of price rise. They've talked about also electricity, moving into the private sector and raising the prices for the common man. These issues that the left raises all the time, whenever we've had this discussion, they are constantly raising issues that they believe are, going to hurt the common man, especially the economic issues. How would you respond?
No, I think definitely, and we should have a very extensive discussion on the situation of our economy today, because I think the Indian economy is doing really well. Only yesterday we have seen the latest data for of this quarter for the growth of our country. It's crossed 8.25%. The inflation definitely is at all-time low, around a 1.5% mark. In such a situation, and the transformation, this kind of transformation that we are seeing is very magnificent, because it's only a decade before where we had seen a double digit of an inflation and a 4%, 5% of or lesser than that of a growth rate. Now the tables have turned. We are seeing a growth rate of 8.25% and more, and an inflation of 1.5%. And that is why I think the kind of indicators that we are seeing in the economy and the kind of growth that we are seeing, the kind of action that has been seen on the ground, with the last man standing in the line getting the benefit of all the schemes of the government, I think this definitely requires a extensive discussion, and the government is very open to it. We are very confident that Indian economy is doing well. I would just so hope that the opposition would not want to play on their whims and fancies and want to raise something and call Indian economy a dead economy based on comments coming from foreign soil.
Okay, let me first turn to Dr. Sivadasan, and I'm going to ask each one of you for closing comments now on your expectations from this session of the Parliament. We'll start with Dr. Sivadasan. This is a session of Parliament that has only got 15 sessions. It's a 19-day, or it has 15 sittings. In this context, what kind of narrative would you like to shape, in the public mind? Because, they are, at the end of the day, it's the opposition that even Mr. Yadav is saying should be having its say in Parliament.
In this session, we don't have enough time to raise the issues, because this government, they reduced the number of days of Parliament.
Okay.
The Parliament is the space of discussion and debate. But here, the government of India, they are not ready to give proper answer to the questions. They are not ready to give the more sufficient time for opposition parties to raise their issues inside the Parliament. I have an interesting experience. In 2021, I have raised a question regarding the number of unemployment in India, especially the military sector, where Army, Navy, and Air Force. Their government has given the answer in 2021. And 2022 also I have received the answer, but 2023 they have rejected my answer, rejected my question, and they told they are not ready to give the answer because of the national interest. It's a very shameful thing. See, the government of India is not ready to reveal the number of unemployment, number of vacancy in different sector. So these kind of issues we will raise in the Parliament, but the thing is that government is not ready to provide sufficient time for opposition parties in our
time
Parliament.
is the factor. Mr. Panwar from the Aam Aadmi Party, go ahead, sir.
Mark, although we are boasting about that we are fifth in the economy rankings, but the reality is that in terms of per capita income, India ranks 124th. India ranks 105 on the global hunger index out of 124. Nearly 82 crore people are forced to survive on 5 kg ration. That's the facts of the government. 35% of the children under the age of 5 are suffering, are underweight. They are not even getting proper meals. So what economy are we talking about in terms of happiness? We are ranked at 126, and our country only spends 2% of the budget on education and
Right.
healthcare, on the basic
Okay.
amenities of life, which our constitution guarantees to every citizen of this country.
Okay. Mr. Poonawala, your final comments?
I'll just take on Mr. Yadav on the economy. While I'm very proud that India is growing, and India certainly is growing, I won't take away from that. The fact of the matter is that IMF has rated our state of accounts at a C grade. That is something extremely worrying. The fact of the matter is our manufacturing as percentage of GDP is its lowest since the 1960s at 13%. The CMIE data says unemployment is at a staggering high of 20% for urban youth. The fact of the matter is, while inflation is pegged at about 0.5% to 1%, food inflation has crossed 7%. The government's own data says that. Now, within all of this, they are asking for supplementary grants. That shows that they didn't even do proper planning for budgetary provisions. They are coming up ad hoc for supplementary grants. That shows
Okay.
that the complete
Right.
accounting system is a mess. They have no clue. And my only suggestion to them is,
Fair
in
enough.
this session, come and offer your resignation to the people of this great country.
So
Resign and leave.
we leave the last word then to the Treasury once again. Mr. Yadav, your final comments.
Mark, I don't know what kind of democracy we would imagine if, if the opposition only has to say that offer your resignation because we accuse you of something and that's it. That's the end of the discussion. I again hope that this session is one for constructive debates, for constructive engagements. We welcome the opposition to come and discuss, to raise issues that are concern them, but the kind of approach that the opposition is keeping, I think that a change in that approach is also required. My learned friend from the Aam Aadmi Party was saying, while we were 126th on happiness index, we are this and that. I don't know, 10 years back, probably Arvind Kejriwal was the happiest man on the earth. India was the happiest country. Definitely, we have a long way to go as a country. But
Right.
what we have achieved and what we actually are doing on ground, that has to be acknowledged. And what better we can do in a constructive manner, that has to be discussed. We're only hoping for that.
We leave it there. Thank you very much, Mr. Sadat Yadav of the BJP, Dr. Sivadasan of the CPIM, Tehseen Poonawala, political analyst, and Anmol Panbar, spokesperson of the AAP. So clearly, we can see that this session of Parliament, with 15 sittings and 19 days, is likely to be a stormy session of Parliament. There are a number of issues that are likely to be raised by the opposition parties, issues that they hope will resonate with the common man, with the public in general. And the government will continue its agenda of reforming and taking the economy forward with several bills, and which they hope will be passed with discussion on the floor of the House. Thank you very much for watching. Namaskar.